To consider that space is totally independent of bodies would be to believe that space and matter have irreconcilable or different natures, which leads to a logical dead end. The exact proportionality always present in relativistic equations that reveal that the increase in mass when in relative speed always occurs in an exact proportional way to the decrease in length, for example, or even the exact inverse proportionality always present in Newton's second law. That reveals that the greater is the mass, the smaller is the acceleration, the smaller is the variation in the velocity of a body with respect to time, the smaller is the distance traveled in space by the body for the same applied force of constant magnitude clearly demonstrates that space and matter have a single nature, which is why they are always related to each other in exactly proportion. Space is real insofar as it is visualized or measured by an observer. Without an observer at least imagining or thinking about space, it makes no sense to say that space has an independent real existence, even because, as relativity demonstrates, spatial measures are always relative and always depend on the situation of movement involved with the observer. Space is infinite in extent in the sense that someone who measures space will never reach an objective end of space in the universe. As the concept of space is created by the observer who measures it by the act or movement of measuring space, even if this is done only with the eyes, there is no objective end of space that can be found as an insurmountable physical reality. The universe is eternal on the basis that Einstein's relativity does not admit that there can be an absolute reference to measure movements in an absolute way or to measure time in an absolute way. Time is just one type of movement. Only relative measurements exist or are possible, which keeps the nullity or symmetry of the universe always preserved. There is no coherent logical alternative to the eternity of the universe. About bodies under the action of a centripetal force, Newton showed that the volumes of bodies are irrelevant. What matters are the distances between their centers and the value of their masses. The momentum of a body is the product of its mass and its velocity. The inertia of a body is a force, a reaction of an object to any change in its momentum. Force is an action exerted on a body in order to change its momentum. There are two ways to change the state of motion of a body: changing the magnitude of its momentum or changing the direction of its momentum. Galileo discovered that if nothing touches a moving body, it will continue to do so forever in a straight line and with constant speed. In the absence of forces, a body remains at rest or in uniform motion along a straight line. This phenomenon demonstrates the perfect physical equivalence that always exists between rest and motion, and also that empty space is continuous, the reason for this equivalence. If a body is initially at rest, it remains at rest. If it is in uniform rectilinear motion, it will continue in uniform rectilinear motion. There is no such thing as a natural stop with anything. In relation to empty space, everything is always at a standstill due to the continuity of space. Newton's law of inertia says that an object at rest remains at rest in the same way that an object in motion remains in rectilinear motion and with constant velocity. The characteristic of the body that resists change is called inertia. The measure of a body's inertia is its momentum. Newton defined the momentum of an object as being exactly proportional to its velocity. The constant of proportionality, which is the property that resists change, is its mass. P equals mv equals constant if F equals 0. The existence of this constant physical proportionality indicates that in the universe, all phenomena, all experiences, in short, everything is exactly repeated. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel and give your like if you enjoy it.